and every story can change the world. Together we are Global Speakers Talk.
Hello, beautiful souls and global change makers. A very warm welcome to each one of you joining us from across the world. My name is Pau, and I will once again be your host for today. It is absolutely my honor yet again to open today's session for the third annual International Live Conference hosted by none other than Global Speakers Talk. Global Speakers Talk, founded in 2021 by Anshu Tiwari, began as a simple dream. So, this dream is to create a safe space, powerful, heart led space for voices that were unheard or unseen. And today, that dream has grown into a global family where speakers, leaders, coaches, and visionaries come together not only to speak, but also to uplift, inspire, and empower others. This community is truly special because it holds a beautiful blend of voices. So we have professional keynote speakers, we have emerging new speakers, experienced leaders, and of course, simple, passionate individuals who simply want to share their life stories. Here at GST, every voice matters and every journey is absolutely honored. We celebrate both seasoned professionals and those just taking their very first step because this is a stage that believes in giving equal opportunity, equal respect, and of course, equal visibility. We are deeply grateful for all the souls who have supported and shaped this community from early days of GST until today. Each of you carries a story of dedication, love, and of course, unwavering support to each and every one of us. Global Speaker Stock stands strong because you, each and every single one of you, stand along with us. And if you feel connected to this mission and want to get involved, simply drop us a message in the chat. This community grows because people like you choose to grow with us. Today in this session, we're not just talking about money and financials and abundances. We're talking about choice. This conversation is about shifting from survival mode to intentional living and understanding that abundance starts with mindset and then action. So, wherever you are on your financial journey, you're definitely in the right room. Let's open our minds, challenge a few assumptions, and explore what financial freedom can truly look like for each and every one of us. Let's listen to extraordinary experts who will be sharing the keys to building lasting wealth, abundance, and financial independence. All, of course, while staying aligned and grounded with your values and purpose. Everyone, let's get started. Our first speaker for today has a story of resilience, transformation, and purpose. After years of running a successful gourmet takeaway business with her husband and experiencing the grief of losing her father, she embarked on a profound journey of healing and self discovery. Her passion for health, wellness, and spirituality led her to become a wellness practitioner, earn a diploma in life coaching, and embrace diverse ventures, including running a B&B and sharing life changing wellness products. Let's all welcome with much love and full attention, Carmel Scaringi.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Carmel.
Hi. Thank you, Pal. Thank
How
you
are you
so much.
doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little nervous, but I'm good.
We're looking forward to what you have in store for us, so feel free to
Thank
take
you.
it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Pal, and thank you, and Sue, and thank you, Dinesh. We are living through extraordinary times. Our world, our businesses, our lives, as we knew them, are shifting. It's a time of transformation. And here's the truth. People are not inspired by your perfection. They are inspired by your presence and by your authenticity, by the courage to show up as you are. So let me ask you, what does wealth and financial freedom mean to you, and why? Financial freedom is not only about money. It's about creating solid foundations in your life. Let me explain. Without knowing yourself and your values, money has less meaning. With values, it adds purpose. Also, health. Your body is your vehicle in this lifetime. Could you imagine your car, and if red lights flashed on or there was crunching sounds as you put the brake on, you would take it to the mechanics or the electrical engineer to get it checked out. But our body doesn't have flashing lights. That doesn't communicate that way. It lets us know subtly by having more day at the end of your energy, by lethargy, by not sleeping well, by allowing stress to overtake you, by headaches, digestive disorders. It's the little signals. Without health, wealth loses its power. What good is financial freedom if you don't have the vitality to enjoy it? Let me share a profound story. It's a true story that was shared, that I heard many years ago by Dr. John DiMartini. He's a chiropractor, world-renowned speaker, coach, entrepreneur, author. And he shared a story of one of his high-end coaching clients that approached him, and he said, "John, I want wealth." And John said to him, "Tom, where do you have wealth?" And he said, "No, you're not hearing me. I want wealth." And John said, "Yes, I'm hearing you, but I'm asking you, where do you have wealth?" And this went to and fro for a while. And then John said, "Listen, Tom, where do you have wealth? What is working for you in your life?" And at that he thought, and he said, "Well, I've got an amazing relationship with my wife. We've been married nearly 20 years and we get along really well. And in fact, my mother-in-law has moved in with us and we get along really, really well. And I love her wisdom and her presence in our children's lives." And speaking of our children, we have two, and they are fast becoming young adults, well-adjusted, doing really well in their studies. And he goes, "Great, where else?" And he said, "Well, I love my garden." He said, "I spend hours in it. And we're actually in the running to win Garden of the Month this month." And he said, "That's fantastic. Where else?" And he said, "Well, I love teaching Sunday school." He said, "It's my weekly spiritual sustenance." He said, "I really enjoy it." He said, "That's great. Where else?" And he said, "Well, my business is going really well, my practice." And he said, "Fantastic." Now he said, "Tom, for you to be thinking that you don't have wealth, you must be comparing yourself to somebody else." And Tom thought, and he said, "Well, I have a colleague, Dr. Paul, and he lives not too far from me. He's got an amazing practice. He's got a huge home and he's got the latest car." And he said, "Okay." And then John asked him, he said, "So what's his relationship like with his wife?" And he said, "Oh, not good." He said, "They're talking about having a divorce." And he said, "What about the children?" "Not good. One's on drugs and one wants to leave school." "And what about mother-in-law?" They moved states to get away from her." "And what about, his garden?" No, doesn't even know he's got a garden. Doesn't. "And what about Sunday school?" "No, doesn't teach Sunday school." And he said, "Okay, so is that what you want more of in your life?" And he said, No. He said, "I love my life." And he said, "I want more money in my life." And he goes, "Okay, now we've got something to work with." And at that, he was able to help him to put some things in place to generate more money. So it's about knowing your values and living to your values. So, to truly understand financial freedom, you must first understand you. You don't want to be living someone else's dreams. Enhance where you are right now. Don't focus on what's not working. Start with what is working. Be so grateful that it brings a tear to your eye. Gratitude shifts your perspective from regret to appreciation, from scarcity to abundance. Here's 7 guiding principles to help. Know your why. Align your money with your values and purpose. When you know your why you're doing what you're doing, regrets disappear. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop chasing someone else's definition of success. Mindset matters. Work from where you are, then raise the bar. Self-awareness in spending. Notice emotional triggers. Are your purchases aligned with your goals and your values? For example, if I wanted to buy a new computer, I'd say, will this new computer make me money? If it's no, because it's not going to do much more than what my other computer is doing, well, then I won't spend the money on it. Set personalized goals. Define freedom from your own terms, not what society dictates. We're all different. One person might be $2,000 a week that gives them financial freedom. Another one wants $20,000. Another one might want $100,000 and more. So it's knowing yourself, your values. Build resilience. Life is unpredictable. Create habits that help you adapt and thrive. Continuous learning. Stay curious. Have empty baskets. Fill it with the knowledge. And then remember, use the wisdom to put the knowledge into practice, because knowledge only empowers freedom when it's put into practice. Balance, enjoyment, and savings, because it's live now, plan for tomorrow. Take a holiday now according to the time schedule and the money you have. Then plan bigger when you can. Financial freedom is not a destination. It's a journey intertwined with self-discovery, growth, and joy. Research shows at the end of life, people regret not enjoying the journey more. They regret being so fixated on getting there that they forgot to savor the time with their loved ones, creative pursuits, and moments of self-discovery. Prioritize your health. If you'd like to know more, just contact me. My number and email will be at the bottom of the screen. Remember that financial freedom is about living fully. It's about aligning money with meaning, health with wealth, and presence with purpose. Otherwise, no amount of money will be enough. And remember, freedom is not just about what you have, it's about who you become along the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Carmel, for that wonderful opening. Basically, kind of like an opening session for today. I like that. It's not just about what you have, but who you will become. I think that's one thing that we fail to realize sometimes. It's just that, is it really what I have? Is it really what I can do just now, at this present moment? And when you think of it that way, I was listening to your talk earlier, you tend to compare, you tend to see things that are, why am I not like that? When we kind of like forget about all the stuff that we can already do and we already have.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that wonderful reminder and for your time with us today,
Thank,
Carmel.
thank you so much, Pal. Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's quite a wonderful way to open this whole session for today. It kind of like sets the stage in a sense and kind of like reminds us of what really to keep in mind as we keep on listening. And speaking of what's in store for us for today, up next we have an international best-selling author, speaker, and a communications consultant, and a superhuman. I like this, a superhuman advocate. He is a 30-year veteran world class speaker, thought leader, consultant, and an international best-selling author who helps you live your best possible life through pure spiritual intelligence, verbal aikido, and his wealthy world changer workshops. He's also raising up million dollar gurus all over the world, teaching from his experience working with the world's most powerful banks, international law enforcement agencies, and sharing the stage with his guru dad, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, Robin Sharma, Bob Proctor, Grant Cardone, Jack Canfield, Mel Robbins, Steve Forbes, Eric Thomas, and Sir Richard Branson. Once again, let's give all our love and attention and join me in welcoming James MacNeil.
Well, hello, hello. Thank you, Pau. This is very
Hello, James.
exciting. I
Definitely. How are you doing today?
well better now that I'm talking to you. And after I heard that introduction, I thought, man, I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say. You really know how to
Definitely.
introduce someone.
And I'm sure we're all excited, even our viewers. So take it away, James.
Well, thank you, thank you. Well, one and all, hello. My name is James MacNeil. I'm honored to share the stage with these kind souls, beautiful speakers, great hearts, great minds. I encourage you to take lots of notes, connect with all the speakers. If they give you an opportunity to follow up, follow through, please do that so that you can keep the conversation going. We have a limited window here and we use it primarily to make a connection with you, but to be able to fully, engage and make change, it makes sense that we might want more time. So make sure that you follow up and follow through. For me, I've put a link in my description, tinyurl.com/podcast profit, which is what I'm focused on right now. So let's talk today about financial freedom. So today is not about financial survival. So survival instinct is a different fuel than wealth creation fuel. So first, I want you to know it's Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that if you are in survival mode, that energy will only get you to survival. So the fuel that got you there won't get you to the next there. The fuel that gets you to enough will not get you to abundance. It's called a deficiency driver, a deficiency need. And so once the need is met, you don't need more. So many people do a yo-yo of economics because they haven't unleashed the financial freedom wiring instead of the survival wiring. So that's the first thing I want to share with you, that if you want to earn more than survival, you will require a meaning for the motivation. You'll want to have a reason for abundance, a reason for financial freedom. Otherwise, you hover around the survival or below, and that's just the way we're wired. So first thing I want to say is you'll want to move from a deficiency driver of survival to an abundance driver that requires meaning. So you must add meaning to money to maintain the motivation. That's the first thing I want to share if you want to talk about financial wealth. And for me, I would say, I'll say it this way, if you can try and capture this, maybe I'll say it more than once, but you want to have a clear, compelling vision you believe in and feel free to pursue. So I'll say that again, a clear, compelling vision that you believe in and feel free to pursue. And there's a lot in there, but what you'll want to do is you'll want to desire it, wealth, right? Abundance. Number one, have a desire. Second, you'll want to give yourself permission, which means money is a form of power. Power is defined as the ability to act and influence. And the more power you have, the more ability to act and influence. The more money you have, the more power you have. Then the challenge with that can be people who fear responsibility. The more powerful you become, the more responsible you become, and that's appropriate. So for you to feel good about becoming more and more powerful, you want to truly work through authentically with yourself to land at the conclusion that the more powerful I am, the more wealthy I am, the better the world becomes. It's not only and all about me, that I've added meaning to money, purpose to profit, and the more abundant I become, the better the world becomes. So you really want to let yourself free. And on that topic, I'm not going to go deeper. Please connect to these other speakers. Yuan does great work on this. I had an interview with her on one of my podcasts. And Shiraz, who he actually did what is it called? A session with me live. And it was truly powerful. So I encourage you to speak to these experts on the mindset around money, but I wanted to plant the seed. Next, when it comes to financial wellness and your ability to succeed, I want you to know it's not about the economy. It's not about the environment. It's not about the job. It's not about, rich people didn't take your money. It's not rich people that have caused your economics. I'm not saying that's never a factor, but it is healthier to see it this way. Think of the song "The Gambler" by Kenny Rogers. Some of you have no idea, you're too young. But in this song, he said, he's talking about gambling, and he said, every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser. And that's what I want you to understand. So your unique makeup is perfect for you to have impact and profit and an abundant life. I come from a challenging background. I couldn't speak till I was 9 years old in sentences. I couldn't read till I was 21. I have no college, no university. I have a strong case of ADHD, dyslexia, OCD, complex PTSD, challenging childhood, challenging background. But by the grace of God, instead of saying, woe is me, and that's the end, by the grace of God, I was able to say, okay, so how are my uniquenesses, my superpowers? So I want you to know that what you may be trying to hide from the world might be the thing that's going to make the world love on you, and it may be a secret power. So it's not the externals of society, and whatever is true about you is not a deficiency. It's part of the equation that is perfect for you. So if you'll understand, every hand's a winner, every hand's a loser. Master using the hand that you have is great as far as finances. Hopefully you can appreciate it. I want to cover as much as I can, but again, tinyurl.com/podcast profit. It's a 15-minute call with me, free, no strings attached. We get to talk. And for some of you, I'll actually interview on a live, but this is just a chat between us. The next thing I want to say is the conversation around AI. People are really afraid of AI. You hear, oh, AI is taking over all the jobs. Well, you may have heard that the word job is an acronym that means just over broke. And you may believe that, you may not. But for me, I assume that every company is seeking profit. And if they could avoid paying me, they will. Right? I just don't assume jobs. I don't buy the idea of job security. Well, the other thing is I'm unemployable. Maybe it's the ADHD. No, I couldn't play nice with others, I guess. So I was forced into entrepreneurialism, not because I wanted to, but because this is just my reality. So if I'm forced into entrepreneurialism, then it's okay, figure it out, right? Learn how to do that. So I found my way by the grace of God, but who I am works. So AI, if it takes a job, it unleashes your potential. So here's what I want to say about AI, and I'm going to move towards something called the $1 billion back office. AI gives you insanely powerful tools. It can help you. You just ask, if you don't know how to use AI, ask AI, how do I use AI? It can help you. You might say, oh, it's going to take over the world. Well, if it does, then you and I aren't going to stop it. What we can do is hope that's not the case and utilize AI to unleash our entrepreneurial potential. So let's say you don't know how to run a big company, you don't know how to build online courses, you don't know how to be a coach, successful or whatever. Just ask AI and it'll guide you. I'm not kidding. It's that powerful. And so where I've decided to focus myself and my efforts is in the world of podcasting. And the reason is then you and I can build a tribe, a following, a community. And with that community, we are stronger for whatever the future holds, right? Whether it's, it doesn't matter what comes. If we're connected with others and ourselves in divine love, God, if you will, if we have all of that, then we can handle anything and grow abundant. So I've moved into that direction. I'm building the ultimate. It's called the Superhuman Network, where people can build outrageously successful podcasts with all of the tools. It's like I've invested just so much in building a back office for you and I, which includes social media. And so if you're interested in that, we can talk. But I just want you to know through AI, I can do 100 times, 1,000 times more than I could on my own. So I want you to see yourself as you Inc., you incorporated. And if you see yourself as an independent entrepreneur, you're in much better shape. It's very important to see yourself as an independent entrepreneur. And if you're currently employed, just see that employer as your current biggest client. They haven't always been. They are unlikely to always be, but see yourself as independent. Les Brown taught me many, 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 many years ago, do not ask what you'll make at the job, ask what the job will make of you. Because the goal is I want to be able to manage whatever the world throws at me and make the world a better place and profitably solve problems. There you go. So if you're interested in podcasting, definitely click the link, book an appointment. We'll talk for 15 minutes. I might even interview you for free. That's for all the speakers as well. Some of the speakers I haven't interviewed yet, and I want to. So all the speakers, please click the link and book the appointment. And then lastly, I want to give you an example of this just to bring this home. So I'm visiting Florida right now. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I'm visiting Florida at my cousin's place, and I just set up a studio in his dining room, which he let me do. And it's not that hard. And then I thought, maybe I want to stay here. So I went on to Grok. I use Grok, but you can use all of them, any of them. And I simply said, if I wanted to stay here in Florida, what is it that I need? Is it called a green card? And explains what that is. And then I said, okay, what are the fastest, easiest paths? And it says, number one, get married. I'm like, hey, calm down. Anyway, so so I said, what else? And then a list of things. And one of the things came up, buy a business in the US for $1 million. And if you invest $1 million in the US, they'll fast track you. I said, okay, but what if I don't want to use my own money? And what if I don't have US credit and whatever? It said, okay, no problem. Here's how you can do it. And it gave me everything I needed. So I said, okay, let's talk about what kind of business. All of this took less than an hour. I said, let's talk about what kind of business. And I tell it I'm doing podcasting. It says, how would you like to buy a studio space in a Class A environment? Like here in Fort Lauderdale, the hottest place is Las Olas. So it found me a space on Las Olas, a Class A building. I can buy completely with credit, and it'll give me a green card. And I now own a multi-million-dollar business without a penny out of my pocket, and I get a green card. And then it said, here's the business plan, 65 pages, and here's the people to talk to. Tell the lawyer I sent you. It gave me everything I need in about an hour. And you might say, well, maybe it won't work. Well, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, so my point is that if you will allow AI to help you, you can build things. And then lastly, I wanted to close with $1 billion back office. There's a race on right now to see the world's first solo $1 billion a year entrepreneur. So it's a person who has no employees, no staff at all, and simply with AI, artificial intelligence, as the back office, which would require a series of agents. And if you met the people on the AI day, like JB, oh goodness, names are evading me, but those are experts, and I'm talking to them about building this. So we want to build the ultimate $1 billion back office. So all you need is heart, authenticity, and it'll help you with ideas. And AI can build the ultimate $1 billion back office for you. And it's just you and AI can make $1 billion a year. You might say, well, I don't need $1 billion a year. Let me assure you, nobody does. But the point is, whatever it is that you would like to have in your experience, AI can help you strategize it, organize it, build the back office, set you free. And I encourage you, one and all, fear forfeits flow. So you want to move away from fear, frustration, anger, bitterness, resentment, any kind of negativity, and just say, let's play forward and let's have some fun. Let's make the world a better place and allow ourselves to be rewarded. The word deserve means from service. That's what deserve, from service. So if you're not earning enough, you're just not serving enough. And AI can help you create systems and processes that help you profitably solve problems for others. Again, if you want to speak with me privately, I'd love it. Just go to tinyurl.com/podcast profit. It's a 15-minute conversation. It doesn't have to be about podcasting, but I want to talk to you if you're interested in learning more about what I do and how I might be able to be a friend and encourager, how we might play nice. By the grace of God, even with my deficiencies, I've been blessed with building 3 7-figure a year businesses. That's $3 million a year businesses. And so if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I want to encourage you, take lots of notes today, connect with everybody, and definitely click on that link and set up an appointment so we can talk more. There we go. I've milked my moments as much as I possibly can. I thank you so much. I hope, pray, and trust the very best for you and your family. And today, make a commitment to say, I will find a way to profitably solve problems. It is right and good that I earn money, that I serve greatly, and abundance is natural and and I'm going to stop stopping the flow. I'm now saying yes to me, saying yes to abundance, and I will allow the tools around me to support me. Again, James MacNeil, God bless. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Pau. I just woke up this morning and pow, I met Pau. And I encourage everyone to enjoy every moment today. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much, James, for that wonderful transition back to me, actually. And honestly, like one of the things that I picked up from your talk is I also have like extreme ADHD, honestly.
Mm,
So just the idea that it's not impossible,
yeah.
growing up in an environment where like, no, get a job, get a 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's kind of like hard to battle that. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like hard to believe that is it really possible outside of that? But
Sure.
sometimes we just need people who are like us, to kind of like say that, you know
Encourage
what?
us. Yeah.
Pow, right? Kapow.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's
It's
all good.
It's a
Yeah.
superpower when
Mhm.
harnessed appropriately. And so when I'm in front of an audience of hundreds of
Mhm.
people or even thousands of people, I sense how they're doing because my ADHD, it's all over the place. I can feel every audience member joining me, leaving me, being distracted. I feel it all. Now that could be debilitating, but once I figured out that the way I'm wired is perfect for something, all I had to do is find the something
That's
and then
something, right?
really develop those skills. And it's in love that we unleash the wealth. So find something you love is the one thing I didn't talk about. Thanks for that extra moment, pal.
Thank you. No, we actually all just needed to hear that. Sometimes it's something as simple as that, right? Sometimes it's such a simple statement. Find something that
Hmm.
you love. And sometimes it can be often missed, basically. We tend to forget about that very, very basic key point. So, James, thank you so much for your time and for that reminder once again.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And speaking of stuff that we love, we will be continuing today with a few more other speakers who will be sharing with us their expertise and the stuff that they love talking about as well. Kicking off our next segment with our next speaker, who is the founder and the CEO of Master Connectors, a company that helps entrepreneurs and small business owners generate consistent cash flow by filling their sales funnels with high quality referrals. With over 20 years of experience in referral marketing, she teaches her clients how to master the referrals on demand process, which can infuse hundreds of thousands of dollars into their businesses without complicated tech or the expense of paid traffic. Well, this is really interesting because nowadays it's all about like if you want good referrals, good leads, paid traffic, right? So this is definitely a good one. Once again, giving you all our love and attention, welcome to our virtual stage, Virginia Muskiz.
Hello, Pau. How are you?
Virginia, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm a little on the rush side this morning, but I'm super excited to be here.
I'm very much excited. I have a bit of a digital marketing background, so to see that without complicated tech or the expense of paid traffic sounds really, really interesting. So take it away, Virginia.
Well, thanks so much, Pau. One of the things that I notice about folks that are in business for themselves or building businesses is that they often put the cart before the horse. So they start automating things that aren't really ready to be automated yet. And I really believe that when it comes to financial freedom has a precursor, and the precursor is people. And no one ever got wealthy without involving other people into their process and into their wealth building. And so I think that is something that is really, really important to remember, is that you need to have people in your network that can actually help you build that wealth. So what I want to talk about today is how to build a network that actually builds wealth with you and for you. And really, whether you're in business for yourself or whether you have a corporate position, you still need a network that can help you in these three areas. So we'll start with the first of those three areas. The first one is that you need to surround yourself with knowledge partners. That is, people that can help you figure out the stuff that you don't know how to do, because you're always going to be really good at the thing that you're really good at. and you're not going to be great at a lot of other stuff. So John Maxwell often says there's something called the law of the lid, which means you can only progress to the level of your highest level of skills. And when you've got other skill sets that are underdeveloped, let's say you've got a skill set and maybe you're a 2 or a 3, the most that you can really hope to improve that is going to be a couple of points, 4, 5, 6. And that still leaves you in the realm of the mediocre. And mediocre isn't going to cut it, right? So you're an expert, you're a 9 or a 10 in a lot of places. And those are the places where you've put in your 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 hours to get good at it. So what you want to do is surround yourself with knowledge partners, with mentors, with coaches, with peer experts that you can tap into so they can bring their expertise and add that to your expertise, give you guidance and give you direction so that you're not wandering around lost in those places that aren't your area of expertise. So that's number 1. Number 2 is resource partners or support partners. Now, resources come in a lot of different forms. Resources can come in the form of a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear. Resources can be courses, books, any sort of tangible thing that someone can give you. It could come in the form of, I don't know, airline miles or an Airbnb that's sitting empty that you could stay in if you were traveling, a car that you could borrow. So we don't always have all the resources we need. And oftentimes we feel less than financially free because we don't have all of the resources that we need. But people around us have excess resources that they'd be willing to rent us or lend us or give us, depending on the level of relationship that we have. So to be financially free, again, don't think for a minute that you have to own all of the things that you need and know everything in order to get to where you want to go. If you have knowledge partners and you have resource partners, you're going to be that much wealthier because you're sharing what you have with them and they're sharing what they have with you. And then finally, I start looking for networking partners. Now, your networking partners are the people that can promote, connect, and refer you. Now, if you're in a corporate setting, that's how you get a promotion, right? You're looking for people that will advocate for you, people that you will that will walk you into an office, that will walk you into a deal, people that are going to help you get where you want to go. In business, we're looking for people that would promote us to their audience, promote us out in the world, share our message, put us on their stages, those sorts of things. Those are our promotional partners. Then there are people that are going to be connectors. They're going to connect you to the people who can connect you. So it's that person that can connect you to someone who can walk you through a door, that can connect you to someone who can promote or your interests or advocate for you. And then finally, there are referral partners. And those in business, those are people that are walking clients to your door. In a corporate setting, those are people that are going to be referring you out to those knowledge and resource partners that can help you get ahead. And so when you start to look at how can I become financially free? It isn't always about making sure that your passive income exceeds your expenses, although that, that is a good rule of thumb, figuring out how to get income that you don't physically work for to outpace your expenses. That's really cool. But a lot of us are financially free, not because we have big, long revenue streams and we've got tons of money, but because we have relationships that when we combine our strengths and our resources and our assets with those people's, we are all wealthier for it. And one of the biggest challenges in finding these partners is that it's a question of follow-up, really, I think. So we meet people every single day. We meet people in the coffee shop. We meet people online. We meet people at events that we go to. And the statistics show that about 52% of us never follow up past that first meeting. So imagine, you go to a chamber meeting and you're at the chamber meeting and you meet 4, 5, 6 new people. Well, half of the time, no one follows up with those people. No one initiates the relationship. But if someone was in front of you, they're in front of you for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it's our job to follow up with them and say, what what do I have that can benefit them, and what do they have that could benefit me? When we put our chocolate and their peanut butter together, what do we get, right? So 52% of people never follow up past that initial meeting. Of the remaining 48%, only about 50% ever follow up at least twice. And in this day and age, with all of the digital distraction and all of the challenges that we have, and really everything that's going on in the world, it's now taking somewhere between 12 and 17 interactions before someone actually feels cemented into our world. So if we're not even getting past the second follow-up, we're leaving a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity on the table because we're not following up. And it always becomes kind of a question of certainty. People don't want to bug other people. People don't want to feel like they're pushy or they're salesy. So one of the best things that I can recommend is that when you meet new people, and you should be out there meeting new people every single day, connecting with them on LinkedIn, inviting them, following them, interacting with people on a social media platform in a positive way. If you're not interacting with people on a daily basis and drawing new people or inviting new people into your network, you're going to be leaving a lot of opportunity. And then once they come into your network, have a plan for how you want to nurture those relationships. And one of the most easy ways that I know of to invite somebody into your world and into your life is to simply say, hey, how can I follow up with you? What's the best way to follow up with you? Should we have a call? Should we have a cup of coffee? How should we follow up? And simply asking that question demonstrates that you're respectful towards that person, that you're interested. And then once they tell you how to follow up with them, it's really just a matter of following through on what you've discussed. So from my perspective, financial freedom isn't just about having money. Having money is great. Don't get me wrong. But I believe that we can do a lot more through relationships than we can do with cash alone. So from my perspective, a financially free life is a connected life with a curated community of people that share your values and your vision and want your success as much as you do, and that you want that for them too. And you're willing to combine your knowledge, your resources, and your networks so that you can build great things together. So that's what I've got, Pau.
Okay, there we go.
There
Thank
you
you so much,
are.
Virginia, for that wonderful. I keep on using this term with all of the speakers that we interview here or we allow here on Global Speakers Talk. It's like a reminder. Many of the things that we talk about are always rooted in like really basic concepts. If we're gonna think about it,
Yeah.
connections, right? That's something that we miss out when you think of like abundance, wealth. As you mentioned earlier, money is good. Like, who doesn't want to have a
Who
lot of
doesn't want
money?
money, right?
But at the same time, we kind of like fail to remember that no man is an island, right? And we can't really achieve not only our wealth goals or financial goals, but any goal in life. We can't achieve it alone. And
Yeah.
somehow we. Mhm.
Well, what I was going to say is, when you think about it, money is an intermediary.
Fair,
So,
yeah.
right, we all want more clients. Why do we want more clients? Because we want more money. Why do we want more money? Well, we want the things that money can buy. Well,
Hmm.
if you don't have the money, what you need is a roof over your head. So if you
Absolutely.
had no money, but you had a place to stay, you're taken care of. But most of us miss that fact. So I have a friend who lost his business during COVID, and his like business was attached to where he lived. So when he
Okay.
lost the business, he lost the place where he was supposed to live. But he had a roof over his head all during COVID. For 2 years, he went and stayed with a friend. He had a roof over his head, and he
Mm,
didn't feel bad, like, oh, woe is me, I lost my own apartment. Right.
right.
He was like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful for my friend who has an extra bedroom, and we're combining our resources, our
Hmm.
networks, our knowledge. We're combining this. His friend didn't have a car, but my friend had a car. So together they
Okay.
had a place to live and they had a car. So,
Amazing.
and it wasn't about the money, right? The money became, you know, yeah, it's necessary because it's the intermediary to getting the things that we need in
Yep.
our lives. But most of us have what we need, and we fail to just recognize that just because we didn't earn it, just because we didn't buy it ourselves, just because we're not writing the check, we're not signing our name on the check or swiping our credit card, doesn't mean we're not wealthy in the things that matter. And you can get your needs met when you have the right network behind you.
Absolutely. So thank you so much once again, Virginia, for that lovely talk that you gave us just now. And once again, the lovely reminder that you allowed us to hear once again. And not only me, not only our speakers, but also those who are joining us live today. Thank you so much, Virginia.
Thanks, pal.
Have a good one. Thank you. And we will be hearing a lot more of these reminders, if I may say so myself, like simple reminders, more tips, more lessons, more learnings throughout the next couple of hours, starting with our next speaker again. So, according to our next speaker, this is very interesting. According to our next speaker, an abundance mindset combined with a structured, proven money system is the key to creating lasting financial success. She is a wealth advisor, a prosperity coach who has discovered this powerful approach and now shares it with her clients. And now, with over 21 years of experience, she guides women to align their finances with their dreams while navigating financial challenges and life transitions. Her process empowers women to take control of their wealth with utmost confidence, creating prosperity on their own terms. With a blend of expertise and a warm, approachable style, she makes financial empowerment accessible to all. Once again, everyone, with all our love and attention, join me in welcoming Francesca Rhea, CFP. Oh, I think you are on mute. There
How's
you
that? There we go.
go. Hi, Francesca. How are you
Hi,
doing today?
good. How are you? Sorry, I was just so excited to be here today that I forgot to unmute myself.
That's all good. We're definitely so excited. So feel free to take away.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I am going to share with you in the next 10 minutes a system that I've created that helped me rebuild my life and my wealth and doubled my income in 6 months. And first, I want to tell you a bit about where I was 5 years ago. I was a wife, a mom, and a wealth advisor, and I spent 15 years creating plans for everyone else, but I forgot about myself, and I lost sight of who I was. I believed stability came from doing everything right and having the perfect home, the perfect family, and the perfect career. I worked hard because that's what I believed success was about. And I kept my head down and just worked hard. And I struggled and I felt stuck and overwhelmed. I was afraid to be seen and be heard. And I felt I was never good enough. And that whisper one day became a roar. On an ordinary day, I picked up my husband's cell phone, and instead of clicking Spotify to change the music, I clicked on WhatsApp instead, and I discovered his affair. My world collapsed in that instant. Everything I had worked for had fallen apart. The universe was speaking to me because I hadn't been listening for a very long time. In that moment, I was very frozen in indecision. I didn't know what I was going to be able to do without him and my perfect, happy family. Would I be able to support my children? What would my life look like? Could I still keep my home here in Toronto, Ontario? The hardest part wasn't about the divorce. I realized it was rediscovering who I was. And I started to become honest with myself and asking what brings me joy, what lights me up. What is it that I want from my own life and my dreams and my desires? My healing didn't happen overnight. It started with shifting my self-image, creating a life that I truly desired. I started cleaning up my own money habits. Yes, I'm a wealth advisor, but I had some money habits that I wasn't proud to share with people. I was trying to fill a void of that emptiness inside with spending so that my children could love me. I had no idea there were money beliefs that I still hadn't cleaned up. And I realized that money is a tool, as somebody mentioned earlier, and I needed to really define what my true purpose was in life. During this time, the last few years, I discovered there's this masculine structure of money, which is what I do every day with my clients. Put money here, invest there, do this, do that. But there's also a feminine side of money, how to receive money and how to give money. I didn't know until recently that that was what really truly brings you wealth and abundance in your life. The number one reason why women do not achieve their financial purpose in life isn't because of a lack of knowledge. It actually is a lack of confidence. And I was there. I understand. And we create money stories about who we are and what we are worthy of. And I didn't feel worthy. Another money story that I discovered, and I thought this was fascinating. Here in North America, it wasn't until 1974 that a woman could actually have a mortgage or a credit card without disclosing their spouse. I was 3, telling you my age. And that's why I was always told at a young age, you got to find a man who has a great job and a pension to take care of you. That's what I believed. But really, it's about you taking care of yourself in all ways, not just in regards to money. So I'm here to tell you, you do not need someone to take care of you. You do not need your outside circumstances to bring you joy. You can really do that on your own. And in the 8 steps that I've created, I've actually also woven them into my book, Divine Wealth. I am so proud to share. There's a number of steps. I'm hoping to go through them today quickly and briefly. But the first step for me, and I hope for you, is to understand that money is a tool. It is just a piece of paper, yet we create so many stories around it, that it's hard, that it's greedy, that it's just not nice, and it's so difficult to keep. But really understanding that money is a tool is the first step in letting go of the fear and the attachment we have around money. And so just ask yourself this one question in discovering money and yourself is, what is my financial purpose? I also had to get true to who I was and what my financial purpose was in life. And is it to be free of a 9-to-5 job? Is it to be generous to others and give the life and have the life of your dreams? I mean, here's the truth. Money goes where it's invited and where it's welcomed. Are you opening up your arms to receive money and fulfill your true financial purpose? The second step in my process is shifting your money mindset. As I said before, we have money beliefs about ourselves that were created when we were young from our parents, our culture, our society. And I really had to dig deep again into my own beliefs around money. And when you have negative beliefs around money, it actually kinks your money flow. It doesn't want to come where it's not welcome, as I just mentioned. And we actually leave our money choices and decisions to other people. 50% of women leave their financial decisions to men or their spouse. I mean, how can you truly live your purpose when you've got someone else managing your own money and your investments and your daily affairs? And 80% of those women realize that they are going to be on their own at some point in their life due to the 3 Ds: death, divorce, and decision. So at some point, women, we have to rise and start taking control of our money. So why not start doing that now? The third step in building wealth, in my opinion, is really diving deep into your wealthy self-image. I had to do this too. Who was I? What is it that I truly want in my life? Ask yourself those questions. And what does it look like? Just dream big. I started dreaming big and remembered I wanted to write a book. And here I am now writing a book. I was afraid to speak my truth. And now I've gotten myself on stages and I'm here today talking to you. And I'm so excited to share that. Because you don't have to wait to have money in order to be wealthy. You can be wealthy today by feeling it, by dreaming it, visualizing it, which is the fourth step in my process. Stepping into the highest version of who you truly are is such a huge game changer in creating a lifetime of habits, which is my fifth step. Habits are important, but I feel we need to go through those first four steps in order to start really diving deep into those habits that we may have that perhaps haven't got us where we've been in the past. And as I said before, I was really ramping up my spending. My money was in chaos. I was feeling a void, and I wasn't using my money to truly help me and my family live the life that I wanted to support for them. With regards to the habits, I'm giving away a 20 Smart Money Moves workbook. There are 20 tips in there to help you get started on some of your habits. There are things like, what are your subscriptions? I know that's starting to become an issue with a lot of people. They're not paying attention to what's coming in their credit card. There's tips about bank fees. I know that's a big thing here in North America. Where is your money going? And just taking a look at it without any fear, shame, or guilt, and just looking at where are the ways that I can change some of my habits to then fulfill my purpose in life. The sixth step is mindful money solution. I feel today, in the day of technology, we're just tapping, tap, 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 everywhere we go. And we're not being mindful of where that money is flowing and where it's going. I discovered that in a research study that we spend 14 minutes a week thinking and looking at our money. Yet we spent 15 hours a week stressing and worrying about money. I heard this tip that Oprah Winfrey has the same 24 hours as we do. And when I heard that, I thought, that's true. She has the same 24 hours as I do, yet she's so successful. I had to stop and think, what am I doing with my 24 hours? Am I really making decisions about myself and my life and my money towards my financial purpose? And every moment I still do this. What are my decisions today and my actions? And is it aligning with my true purpose? And I continue to shift and reframe my thoughts and my habits and my behaviors towards that financial purpose. The seventh step is creating a financial wealth blueprint. It really is your financial house. And the key to that is building a strong cash flow foundation. Do you know where your money is going? What are you bringing in? And where is it going out? Building a strong cash flow helps build that strong foundation for the rest of your wealth blueprint, which is investments, tax planning, estate planning, retirement planning, and the roof, I say, is insurance, making sure your financial house is protected. These are all the areas that I work with clients on as a wealth advisor. Perhaps you have one as well. Start asking the questions about what is in my financial house, and do I have a strong cash flow foundation to build those walls and roof on? So important. And last but not least is celebrating. I realized I didn't celebrate my goals, small and large. I just wanted more. I was looking forward, but I was never becoming present to what I truly, truly had today. And when you start celebrating, looking back even on 2025, what were some of those amazing things that you accomplished? I just did a workshop a few weeks ago on this, looking at photos for the last 12 months of all those fun things, those exciting things, the little wins that you've had, and truly bring that into 2026. What more do you want from that? And for some of those things that maybe you didn't love or honor or didn't want. Celebrate those too, because I'm sure you learned a lot of lessons in those little not so great moments, and carry those great lessons into 2026. So celebrating is super, super important. And we do not have to have permission to be financially powerful. You can do that today to become present in who you truly are and what you really want and what is your financial purpose. So you can visit me, francescaray.com, for more information, to download the 20 smart money moves that I mentioned earlier, or follow me on Instagram as I continue on my journey with divine wealth. And just saying yes to me, saying yes to you is this first step. Because when you have financial freedom, it's just amazing. And it's not a far off dream. You can have it today. You can be it today. So who do you want to become? And what wealth do you want? And what is your purpose in life? Say yes to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Francesca, for that wonderful sharing with us that wonderful 7 steps that you share with us now. So I particularly like that you shared some tangible steps with us, because sometimes we think, oh, I want to be wealthy, right? I want abundance, and we're kind of like stuck with just that general thought. You tend to go like 10 hundreds and hundreds of miles forward without really knowing, okay, so how do we get there? Like, what's this first step that we have to do? And sometimes I know that dreaming big is one of the keys, right? But sometimes if we just kind of like get stuck with that dreaming big only and not exactly know how to like slowly get there, it feels so directionless. Like, okay, I want this, but how do I do it? How do I get there? How do I achieve this? So thank you so much for sharing with us your own 7 steps that is
Yes.
definitely working for you.
Yeah, and
And
it's not about the how, it's like, who are you becoming? Like, who do you need to be, right? Because I got stuck in the how for so long. And
who
when
do you
you
need to
just
be, right?
slow down and you're quiet and you just dream those big dreams, it's like, well, who do I need to be to have that in my life?
Fair.
And
Right.
listen to the little voice, because the little voice really tells you a lot. And when you
A lot.
listen to the little voice and make the actionable steps towards that, it'll change a lot, and your surroundings will change when you start changing who you're being and who you're becoming.
Right. Thank you so much, Francesca. I think that's also in line with the first speaker earlier, Carmel, who said freedom is not just like what you have or what you need to have. It's also who will you need to become in order to
Absolutely.
like achieve these things that we are dreaming of. And one last thing is, I like your reminder that we sometimes just tend to keep on looking forward, that we fail to realize the present. We
Mm,
fail to realize that we might still need to be 100 steps forward, but we are already 100 steps away
mhm.
from where we were a few months ago, or probably even just a few days ago,
Right,
right? So
right. Yes, I mean, there's something that happened in my life recently that I thought would have been a million of years away, and it just
absolutely.
happened, and I was like, "Wow, that was cool," because 'cause I've been visualizing it and dreaming of it and feeling it happening now, and it is happening now. And so, like I said, it's not a, far off dream. It's,
Mhm.
you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. It was a Bob Proctor quote, and I truly believe that 100% to be true. And so here we are today, like all of
Here we
us,
are
we
today.
dreamed of being on a global stage and talking to millions of
Absolutely.
people, and we're all here. So we've all had this vision, and I know that your audience can also have the visions that they're also thinking of and dreaming of. It's
Absolutely,
possible.
Francesca. Thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you.
congratulations on that big milestone that you recently had. So, yeah, thank
Thank
you so much for
you.
your time today. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that was I really like the whole reminder about also acknowledging where we are, right? Like sometimes we just tend to look forward and that's about it. Okay, I have these goals. I'm going towards it. I'm going towards it. But sometimes we fail to realize how far we've also come. So thank you so much for that wonderful reminder once again. And that said, up next, we have another multi award winning author. He is an international speaker, and I like this, a reality interventionist who helps people permanently rewrite the stories that are keeping them stuck. Renowned for his groundbreaking work on reality addiction, he empowers entrepreneurs, healers, and high achievers to break free from unconscious patterns of struggle and shift into lives of abundance, ease, and joy. His transformational book, How to Rewrite Reality, not only changes lives, it changes the way people see reality itself. Once again, join me in welcoming with much love and attention Shiraz Babu.
Am I live?
Hello, Shiraz.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm not sure if it's just on my end, but I think I see just a black screen
I'm just
on.
seeing a black screen too. I'm seeing myself frozen in the bottom corner. So,
Oh, well, we can hear you well, though.
okay. I guess I will do this voice only. The show must go on. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, sometimes the thing you hate most is your secret source of joy. For me, it was not making enough money. I hated not making enough money, wondering if I was going to pay my bills, not being able to afford the things I really loved, and just frustrated that no matter how hard I worked, nothing seemed to change. Until one of my coaches said, actually, Shiraz, you love not making enough money. And I said, say what now? And he said, you love that no one comes up and asks you for money. Can you invest in my company? Can you give to my charity? Can you take care of me? You love that you don't feel guilty for having this cushy life while other people are struggling. You love that you don't have to pay lots in taxes. You have all these reasons you love not making money. And excuse me. So I realized that there was truth to that. And what happened was, when I was younger, I had friends and family telling me, hey, Shiraz, we know you're going to be successful. You're going to have a house on the beach. You can be traveling the world. You'll be making millions. And when that happens, we get to come hang out at your house and swim in your pool. And you can take us wherever you want. And my mind went, oh my God, no. These people are all going to leech off me if I make lots of money. Now, that wasn't actually a conscious thought at the time. It was just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But it stuck into my subconscious mind. And when that happened, my mind made this decision. This is the amount of money I can make and no more. So when I was now aware of what was going on, I could change that belief. So it wasn't changing the belief that people are going to ask me for money, because when you have money, some people will come up and ask you for it. However, my reaction was the important thing. So,
Hi, Shiraz.
Hi.
I think we can try to. We're sorry to like interrupt. It was getting really good, but we want to hear more of it in a way that we would really be able to connect with you in a better way. So, can we try jumping off and back again? Hopefully,
Sure.
that would fix
Okay. Try it.
the technical issues.
Okay.
So that said, while we're waiting for Shiraz to come back, let's go ahead and check out some comments. We actually have a lot of stuff happening here on our comments, lots of applauses from people. Yeah, we are seeing a lot of clapping emojis, cheering emojis. Pay it forward. Yes, awesome, James. There we go.
Okay, I'm back.
You're back. Now that's a lot better.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Shiraz, for
All
your
right.
effort to get things going again. Okay.
So my mind created this barrier. I can't make more than this, or everyone's going to leech off me. And I had to get over the emotional impact of that, because it wasn't the fact that people are going to ask. It's, oh, I'm going to feel overwhelmed. I'm going to feel guilted into giving things. I'm going to feel pressure. And when I made this decision, you know what? I don't have to feel those things. What if instead, if someone says, hey, can I have some money? Can you invest in my company? I'm just like, no. Right? And can you take care of me? No. No emotional impact from the response. And there are going to be times where people come up and they're like, I have this idea. Can you invest in it? I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea. Absolutely, yes. But now the power was on me without the frustration, the fear, the overwhelm. And when I got over that, when I got into that space of mindset and emotional control, we'll call it, over the next year, I added $100,000 to my income. As I continued to find out where these blocks are, I continued to see my income go until I reached $1 million in income. And this is what's causing a lot of people not to have the money that they want. So I'm going to explain it in a sec, but first I want to thank Anshu for putting on this event and giving us all a chance to speak and have our voices heard, our messages out there. And I would like to thank you for tuning in, because if you're here, you are not satisfied with the status quo. You want better for your life. You want more. And I just want to applaud you for that. I also want to give a shout out to James for his shout out for me. James is amazing. If you're looking to make money, he is a great person to work with. He will get you on the right track. And I am the person that says, well, you're on that right track, but your mind says, I don't really want to go there. And you don't even know that's going on. So what I want to talk to you about is exactly why you're stuck. And this is it. Every consistent problem that's showing up in your life, how much money you're making, how much visibility you're getting, how successful you are. Every problem you can't seem to get by, you don't want to get by. It is actually a solution, not a problem. It is a solution for that emotional problem you're not looking at. Fear of guilt, fear of shame, fear of overwhelm. And when you figure out what the emotional problem is, the physical problem goes away. When I figured out, okay, I don't have to feel guilt or overwhelm for the money, suddenly I was making more money. And I've worked with a lot of coaches, a lot of entrepreneurs, and especially the heart-centered ones. One of the things I find hits most of them is I feel guilty when I'm making so much money and having a cushy life while other people are suffering. And it's not even that you may be living that life. It's that if you get there, you will feel guilty, because your mind doesn't, sit there and go, oh, well, we're not there yet. It projects into the future and says, that's how we're going to feel. I have to protect myself from feeling that way. So I will create this reality that keeps me safe, because your mind's priority is not for success. It is for safety, right? When you get it out of safety and get it into awareness, things can change. So safety is always reactive. Safety is protection. Safety feels contracting. Awareness is expansive. With awareness, you can see the potential for danger long before it becomes danger and course correct. With safety, you actually have to create evidence of why you need to be safe so you can feel right. And this is the thing. I've worked with a lot of people, and so many people choose being right over everything else. Being right over being rich, being right over being healthy, being right over having wonderful relationships. It feels so good to be right. But what if you allowed yourself to be wrong more often? And I'm not saying you have to be wrong all the time, but what if at the end of next year, you're like, didn't think I was going to make $1 million. I guess I was wrong. I didn't think that event was going to be as successful as it was. I guess I was wrong. What if being wrong accelerated your success, increased your wealth, made things so much better for you? And you can still be right. But when you're willing to be both right and wrong, and you're not always trying to be right, it opens up possibilities for you. So when that thing comes up, why can't I change this? Why am I not making money? We're talking about money today. Don't ask yourself, why is this going wrong? Why can't I figure it out? Ask yourself, what do I love about this situation? What is my secret source of joy in the situation that I'm not seeing? And that question can lead to the answer and remember, it's always going to be an emotional result. Another thing I see with people is the struggle. And there's two aspects here. Number one, people are taught you have to work hard to succeed. And so you work hard every day, and it feels good. Look, I put in a hard day's work, except you're not seeing the big results. And that's because you're now addicted to working hard. You're addicted to like, oh, look how great I did. So if you try to work smarter, then you don't end the day working really hard. You don't get a dopamine fix from having worked hard and feeling good about yourself. And your body goes into physical withdrawal. Yes, this is why we call it reality addiction. So it actually sends signals to your brain to get you to do unconscious actions to cause more work to show up so you can work hard and feel good and get your dopamine hit. The other thing that can happen is if you're struggling and people are saying, hey, we see you working hard, we got your back, we love you, you keep at it, we know you're going to hit success. Your mind may make a decision that, oh, look at the love I'm getting from my struggle. If I create success, they're not going to say that anymore. And I need that love. You're now addicted to love because when people are giving you that love, you get oxytocin, you get dopamine, you get a whole bunch of feel-good chemicals. And if they stop saying that, or if you're worried that they may stop saying that, you'll say, well, no, I got to keep creating struggle so I can keep getting that love. The truth is you can get love for your success just as much as you can get love for your struggles. You just have to get that. And when you realize, like I made that decision myself, I used to have a lot of struggles. I said, you know what, I'm going to get love for my success. And that was one of the things that took me from the extra $100,000 to the $1 million. So it's always going to be about your emotions, avoiding emotional distress or getting emotional rewards. And when you start that reframe, things are going to change. So if you would like to see how this works, I actually do a workshop every single month where I work directly with the audience to figure out what's under there that you're not seeing, find the emotional block and remove it, and people come out transformed. And if you go to my website, Energetic Magic, and scroll down to the Coach's Money Mindset Reset Workshop, you can come in for free. I'll work on you. But right now, I have an event coming up called Release, Reset, and Reignite Your Magic for the New Year. It's a New Year celebration. We have powerful shifts, and you change who you are for New Year so that the new you gets results because the current you is going to get the same results. And if you go to energeticmagic.com and put in the code GST for Global Speakers Talk, you can attend for free. That is my gift, my Christmas gift, my New Year's gift to you for being here and participating in this amazing event. Thank you so much. That is my time. I'm Shiraz, reality interventionist.
Thank you so much, Shiraz, for sharing all of that. And I like what you mentioned that sometimes when you think of like, how do we address, say, financial problems or money issues, it's always on the surface level. Like, I need to earn more. I need to budget. I need to do this. I need to do that.
Yes.
But I like what you mentioned about there's an underlying emotional problem there.
Yeah.
I think that's what people don't really think of or fully understand when it comes to these things, that there's a fear of something, or there's an underlying issue with like how you feel when
Yes.
it comes to thinking about finances or gaining wealth and stuff like that. Like you mentioned earlier, some people feel guilty, like the lifestyle isn't even there yet, right? Like we
Yeah.
aren't even there, we're already feeling guilty about it. So that's where unconsciously we are heading towards, because that's what we're thinking of.
Yeah. And this is the crazy thing is they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But
Mhm.
when you change these inner beliefs, you can actually do the same thing and get a different result. It's kind of crazy, right? Because
Okay, actually fair.
you've been doing unconscious actions that you're not aware of that sabotage your results, and those actions stop, so suddenly it works.
Fair. Right, right. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think something that is again one of the key learnings that this is like the third session that I've hosted for the third annual conference. It's sometimes it's hidden in plain sight kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like it's so obvious, but sometimes we just fail to really think about it because we think too deeply, if I may say so. Like we think of the complicated things, but sometimes
Yes.
the solution or the answer is staring at us right in the
And
face.
you're going to see through the lens of your beliefs. There's actually
I
a
like
video out
that.
there called The Money Tree, where they put money in a tree and just to see what people would do when they come up and grab the money.
Mhm.
And the thing they didn't expect was some people looked right at the tree and couldn't see the money because that's where they lived internally.
That makes
So,
sense. I
yeah.
like that. You
So
only see it through the lens of your beliefs.
the money is out there. It's right there in front of you. You just don't see it because your beliefs say, I can't have it. And once you shift those beliefs, you're like, oh my God, there it is. There's
It's
so much
actually
of
right
it.
there. Right? And it all starts with just the belief that it's yours already. You can do
Yes.
it, you can make it. So let's gear our efforts, our mindsets, our actions towards that bigger goal. So thank you so much, Shiraz, for your time today. We really
Thank you,
appreciate
Kyle.
it. And I really love all of these gentle reminders. Like I just keep on going back to that because if there's one thing that I really learned from these talks, regardless of the topics that we have, a lot of the stuff that our speakers are sharing are just enhanced versions of stuff that's already right in front of us, but we often fail to see because we are too busy thinking of complicated things. We're too busy with a busy lifestyle, or our brains are always on fast paced, so it's always good to hear it from these experts, hear such simple yet impactful words from them. And speaking of experts, next up on our virtual stage is one vibrant soul who was joining us yet again. She is a former global airline supervisor with over 2 decades in international flight operations. After losing her aviation career during COVID, she transformed her life through breathwork, Chinese metaphysics, and energy alignment. Today, she works as a wealth energy mentor and breathwork facilitator, helping people cross the blazing fire of confusion, fear, and stuckness, and guides them towards clarity, calm power, and aligned next steps. I heard that according to her clients, her sessions are life shifting, bringing direction, deep grounding, and a confidence to move forward with certainty. Once again, with much love, let's welcome back to the Global Speakers Talk stage, Yuan Lo.
Thank you, Pau. Yuan Mary Love here with you. Can you hear me okay? Yes?
We can hear you, okay, Yuan? Nice to see you
Great.
again.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. I just want to, first of all, thank Global Speaker Talk for this amazing opportunity. And also that I've been listening to all these previous speakers, Sharon and James, Virginia, Francesco. I just pick up so much information and so much tips. It's wonderful. I don't know whether I can match my talk with you guys because I'm actually quite kind of like new to this talking big business, but I will try my very best. And I'm not going to talk about numbers because I know that we are on a financials talk today, but I want to get our angle to a different angle about finance, okay? And I want to actually ask you this question. Have you ever asked yourself why financial freedom starts with not the numbers, and not the effort either, but with your energy? Have you ever heard this before? I guess you haven't, have you? Well, you listen on and I will tell you all about it. Because I know that in the modern day society, especially with AI all around us, so many people, so many of us are chasing financial freedom, right? We all want to be free. Yes. Financial freedom. Yes. But we're all doing it backwards, in my opinion. We think money comes from working harder, right? Just what Sharon was saying just now, working harder. And also Virginia, Francesco, they all mentioned working harder, hustling faster, and saying affirmation louder. Can you relate to this? You get up in the morning, you get into the morning routine, you say your affirmation, you spell it out loud and clear, just hope that the universe will hear you. And then nothing happens, right? Because the subconscious is set up in the attraction point set up in the subconscious and not in your words, but how you feel. So, real financial freedom, it doesn't start with action, saying louder affirmation, working harder, hustle faster. It starts with energy alignment, what I call. You don't attract wealth by force. Nobody does. You attract it by flow. And the missing piece that most people overlook is energy, specifically your natural birth energy blueprint that is unique to you and only you. You know that I was in global airline operations. I spent over 2 decades in global airline operations. Just Hong Kong, London, and then Madrid, and so on and so forth. All different countries. Just busy, managing chaos on a daily basis, solving problems constantly. Yes, my phone didn't stop ringing, and I was always on, never off. Money came, yes. Money also went. And I was always exhausted at the end of it all. Can you relate to this? Yeah, you can, can't you? The thing is, then in 2020, the world actually stopped, right? As we all knew. And I lost my job, my title, and my structure. I didn't know what to do. There was silence. I was sitting in my apartment and I felt empty. And I came to experience what is often known as the dark night of the soul. And that's when I realized something huge, monumental, that shook my core. I really wasn't creating wealth with all this working, all this traveling, whatever. That seems to be glamorous, but it is not. I was actually surviving from fear. From fear of what? From losing the job, from not having money. I was not in flow. I was actually against flow, I think. But when I went back to my roots and began studying Chinese metaphysics under Master K during COVID time, because I wasn't working, all the planes stopped, I have time to reflect and work out my next step. I learned how your birth energy, the energy that you're born with, combined with timing, creates what is known, what is most important, flow. Flow is the important thing here. And that wealth doesn't come from how much you do. Yeah, I'm going to hustle more, work harder. It comes from when you do it and how you do it. Yeah. It's a huge lesson for me too. You see, some days you are meant to push really hard, go all out. Other days, you're meant to pause. You're meant to rest. You're meant to relax. But most of us, at least all the people around me, we push all the time. Can you relate to that? From the moment we get up in the morning to the moment that we go to bed, we push and we push and we push. We're cleaning our cars at 2 o'clock in the morning, even when our energy is depleted. And then we wonder why nothing floats, right? Yes, you guess it, or maybe not. There's another component to it. Timing is everything. Apart from energy, there's timing. Timing is the magical thing combined with energy. When you move in sync with your natural energy flow, life stops feeling heavy. Things become easier, lighter, more joy. It's just like your whole consciousness is like light and flow, like feathers. Opportunities open for you. Helpful people appear in front of you. Yeah, right in front of you. You need this and they appear. You need a techno person, they appear. You need a handyman, he appears. Money flows easily into your bank account. Why? Because you're in flow. The universe takes care of all the details, as it were. Your energy, you have aligned your natural energy and you are in flow. Let me tell you something you might not know. Your birth energy, what you're born with, actually has a design. Yeah. Some people are born Ferraris. They're fast, they're bold, they make decisive decisions. Others are born like tractors. They're steady, they're grounded, they're constant. But let me ask you this question. What happens when a Ferrari tries to plow through a muddy field? Roaring the engine away, boom, 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 but going nowhere because it's a muddy field, it's a powerful engine. Or a tractor tries to race on a highway. They both get burnt out, right? Yes. So that was exactly what I was doing during my airline decades, forcing myself into the wrong lane, trying too hard, trying to be everywhere all the time, and not succeeding, not going very far, just getting totally, utterly frustrated and exhausted. Can you relate to this? Yeah. We don't want frustration. We don't want exhaustion. We want flow. But when I aligned with my natural birth energy blueprint, the energy that I'm born with, life became easier. Everything became easier. Helpers appear from nowhere. Opportunities, doors opens for me. You see, most people, they ain't broken. They're just, how should I say it? They're just misaligned. Totally. Or sometimes partially. But most of the time, totally misaligned. When they're supposed to rest, they're pushing too hard, pushing all the time. Let me tell you a story. I once bought a mattress, okay, that blocked my wardrobe door. Nothing could actually move. And I was giggling to myself. Here I am, a wealth energy mentor. And I realized that the external was reflecting the internal. Something is blocked within me, obviously. And that's what blocked money flow feels like. When your money is not flowing fluidly, in and out, that's what it should be. It is blocked. I was laughing my head off. But once the obstruction was removed, I realized that everything was begun to flow once again. And I was in such joy. You cannot believe it. Yes. So in the end, I realized one thing, one really important thing. Money is just energy. And when your energy flows, money follows. Isn't that true? Yes. I must admit, I'm a bit of a movie buff. Yes, I love movies because they're so magical. Don't you think so? And I want to tell you that, you remember the movie Indiana Jones when Harrison Ford had to step into thin air before the bridge appears to cross the canyon? That is actually real alignment. Yes, when you actually believe in yourself, when you trust in yourself, then the bridge appears. Yes, people appear, opportunities appear. Absolutely. And then actually what happens is that we begin to actually go much faster in everything. I just want to come clean about what I do. Yes. I just want to come clean about what I do. Yes. I was actually going from burnt out to flow, from fear to freedom. Yes. Before I just go, 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 go. Now I help heart-led entrepreneurs, the driven creatives, align their natural birth energy with timing so success feel more aligned and not in flow. Because energy misalignment actually costs money, and alignment creates momentum. So before action, align your energy first. And before deciding, take a deep breath first. In fact, let's take a few deep breaths together so you know what I mean. Do it with me. Put your hands on your heart and breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, just like this. Yes, just a few breaths. Don't you feel Just a few conscious breaths. Don't you feel much calmer and with more clarity, ready for your next move? It's all about energy alignment. It's not about working harder, hustling more. And the power of alignment is coming home to yourself, to your truth, with your own breaths. And the great thing is, you can do it anywhere, like while you're at the bus stop waiting for the bus or whenever. And when your body believes in what you are really feeling, your wells begins to respond. And remember, you are never, never broken. You're just coming home to yourself. So you may ask, who am I? Well, I am Yuan, your wealth energy mentor, and I'm ready to guide you across that blazing fire to your next step. Are you ready? And I have to say that it is so much safer, faster, and easier to have a guide by your side to get to your next level and to cross the blazing fire. So let's connect and chat. Check out my website, Radiant Success, RadiantSuccess with the number 9, Radiant Success number 9. There are lots of videos so you can get to know me better. And there's also a freebie on the breath exercise, an MP3, so you can start your journey in the morning. And if the ordinary world is too small for you and you know that you're made for something much bigger, let's connect. And yes, I'll be honored to be your Yoda, just like the Star Wars movie. Didn't I say I'm a movie buff? Thank you for being here. Stay radiant and success will sure follow you. I'm Yuan, your wealth energy mentor at Radiant Success number 9, and I'll see you on the inside. My contacts is in the show notes. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Yuen, for that wonderful talk yet again. And I like that you also mentioned about our energy and how we should be in tune with it as well, in a way that we are reminded that, sometimes, as you mentioned, we're always just going, 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 right? It's always chasing, 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 always on the get go. And we sometimes fail to realize that not all days we are at our peak. Sometimes we have these down days. Sometimes we definitely need the rest, right? We need the rest so that we can recharge and push forward yet again. And I think that's a very powerful reminder that sometimes we want to keep on chasing the next big thing. We want to attract so many things in life that we fail to realize that it's also a necessary step to ground ourselves, to ground our energy for a bit and think, get in tune with ourselves, and rest, replenish our energy before we, lack of a better term, strike again towards our goals. So, Yen, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you.
radiance with us once more.
Once again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we can just quickly run through some of our comments right now. Yeah, energy is so important. And we have, let's go ahead and check out the past messages for our previous speakers as well. We have a lot of cheers in our audience. So, to our audience who are joining us from multiple channels, thank you so much for your time today. We truly appreciate you being with us, and I hope you guys are learning as much as we all are also learning. That fellow speakers, even I myself, Anshu is also in the backstage right now. We're all taking notes. We're all learning from everyone's stories. And speaking of stories, I think we can already see our next speaker was already in the backstage. So next up is another best-selling author, a TEDx speaker, an army veteran, and a transformational coach. She is the founder of She Will Rise, where she empowers women entrepreneurs to overcome limiting beliefs, walk in purpose, and create financial freedom through faith and strategy. With a background in nonprofit leadership and advocacy, she equips others to rise boldly, steward resources wisely, and of course, build lasting legacies and relationships. Once more today, let's once again give our love and attention and join me in welcoming Lisa Phillips. Hi, Lisa. There you go. I think we're all. Oh, I think we can't hear you at the moment. Oh, we can't hear you just yet. Oh, hold on, Lisa. We can't. I think you're not coming in. Your camera is fine. You're moving just fine. It's just that we can't hear you right now. Not yet. Oh, you are on mute at the moment, but maybe
Back to mute. Can you hear me?
there you go. Okay.
You can hear me now?
There you go. That's a lot better. All right, Lisa. Thank you so much. That's good to know that it's all working out. Well, how are you, Lisa?
I am doing well. So happy to be here with y'all. Thank
And we're
you so
definitely
much.
excited to hear from you.
Okay. Well, good morning and possibly afternoon, evening, wherever you're joining us from. It's a pleasure to be here. So, I have a great privilege of speaking about my money journey and just sharing some tidbits for y'all. So money doesn't just live in our bank accounts, it lives in our beliefs. And if you don't understand the story you believe about money, you will keep repeating it no matter how much you earn. As Proverbs 23:7 tells us, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Before money ever moves your life, mindset does. I was raised by a full-time single mom. We didn't shop for new clothes. We shopped sales, clearance racks, and coupons. We didn't go on yearly summer vacations or have elaborate Christmas. And in fact, I remember clearly one year that our Christmas was put on by the Salvation Army because we lived in such poverty and money was so tight and lack was my normal. And without realizing it, scarcity became a belief system which turned into a poverty mindset. Scripture tells us in Deuteronomy 8:18, remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth. Now, I didn't grow up believing that or even in church. I grew up believing survival really was the goal. And then when I got my first job, I felt relief. However, I didn't know how to steward the money well. Then I was blessed and joined the army and had steady income every 2 weeks and slowly started to living on my own at 19, realizing that money was really in my control and what I spent it on and what I didn't. And then so I had security. And after my medical discharge, I didn't fall apart. I built. I had a great civilian job. In 2012, I started a cleaning business that became very profitable. And I founded a nonprofit called Gizmo's Gift. And we traveled across America serving military working dogs and their handlers. I was working, I was creating, I was serving. But here's the truth. You can't be productive and not be aligned. And Proverbs 16:3 tells us, commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. I was committed to working, but not fully partnering with God in the plan. Then life shifted. In 2021, I became a mom and I walked away from my profitable business under the hopes of being a stay-at-home mom. And eventually I became a full-time single mom after an almost year-long custody process. I had to take out a home equity mortgage just to keep my daughter and me afloat her first year of life. And then I rebuilt a successful career and then was laid off not once, not twice, but 3 times within 18 months. And unfortunately, I had to live off my IRAs. I faced fear. I faced the unknown. But Psalm 34:19 says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. Deliverance doesn't always look immediate. Sometimes it looks like development. This is where everything changed. I realized something powerful. If I wanted to rewrite my money story, not only for me, but for my daughter and the generations to come, why wouldn't I invite the creator of money into it? Psalm 24:1 says, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. And in Matthew 6:33, Jesus tells us to seek first the kingdom and God's righteousness, and everything else will be added. God isn't allergic to finances. He's the source of provision. So I stopped asking God to bless my plans and started asking him to lead them. That's when I fully stepped into my calling and founded She Will Rise, a coaching ministry rooted in identity, purpose, and kingdom stewardship. And now expanding to a coffee shop, drop-in daycare and prayer house, and pay what you can to offer rest to tired mamas like myself. I'm not standing here financially finished. In fact, God is rebuilding me as we speak. It's messy and oh so beautiful as well. And when I said yes to him in October, just a couple months ago, to turn She Will Rise into a full-blown nonprofit, financial blessings poured in, over $5,000 in climbing. So I'm standing here aligned. I'm standing here in his peace and rebuilding. Jesus said in Luke 16:10, whoever is faithful with the little will be faithful with much. Financial freedom doesn't begin with more money, it begins with better stewardship. Here are the 5 kingdom principles that transformed my money story. So, first, number 1, absolutely is mindset. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, is what the Bible tells us in Romans 12:2. Hold every thought captive to the Lord. If it's not edifying, uplifting, or speaks life, y'all let it go. Scripture also tells us in 1 Timothy 6:10 that the love of money is the root of all evil, not that money is bad. Money or wealth can corrupt a pure heart and mind. In Genesis 2, we see God establishing that gold is good and natural and symbolizes provision. You can't build abundance on a scarcity mindset. Stop asking, do I have enough? Start asking how I can steward what I have. What can I create? Money follows belief. What are you believing about money? Number 2, clarity creates freedom. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. Most people aren't bad with money. They're blind to it. Track your money. Know where it goes. Clarity removes anxiety. If you don't write it out, if you don't track it, you can't steward it well. And that really goes for anything in your life. And number 3, eliminating debt and creating margin. Proverbs 22:7 says the borrower is the servant to the lender. Margin restores choice. Stop buying things you don't need, only what is truly needed to live. So not the things that you want. So example, limit or pause vacations until there's a greater margin. Don't get on Amazon. Prime Day deals are just to suck you in and get your money. Don't if you don't have that margin. Debt is the thief of possibility. Margin is the oxygen of financial freedom. Number 4, save and invest with wisdom. Proverbs 21:20 says, the wise store up choice food and oil. Small, consistent savings can change the next decade of your life. You don't need a lot, you need consistency. And talk to a financial planner on where to invest. Purpose over provision is number 5. Matthew 6:21 says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Money is a tool. When your money serves your purpose, peace shows up. Freedom means choosing what matters most, not buying what impresses others. Align your heart with God. And lastly, if you're not tithing, I would highly encourage you to start. That is the one place in the Bible and scripture that God says test him on it. So you may be asking, what are some actionable steps? Here are a couple. Number 1, the 10-minute money audit. Open up your bank app, list the last 10 transactions, and ask, does this align with the values or my emotions or where God is calling me to be? This alone brings huge clarity. Then do it again with the next transactions and the next 10. And then the next step, or the next number 1 to do is the 1% faith step. Save or invest 1% consistently. It builds discipline without overwhelm. So say if you bring in $4,000 a month, that's $40 a month that you're going to save or invest. And then the purpose question, before spending, ask, does this align with who God is shaping me to become? Number 4, create a 3-item financial vision. Write down 1 thing to eliminate, 1 thing to build, and 1 thing to invest in. These are simple and sustainable. And then if you need a little bit, if money is too tight where you don't have much, like wiggle room, think about 60% needs, 10% giving, 10% saving, and 20% everything else. Your money story is not your destiny. Psalm 37:23 says, "The steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord." You can start again. Your money story is not set in stone. It's rewritten every time you make a new decision. You can rebuild. You can partner with God and rewrite your money story, because the same God who formed the world absolutely will help you steward your finances. And I promise you, the better you get at stewarding, the more he will give you and place into you, because you are proving to him that you can handle the little. And so then he will give you the more. And when God is the author, the ending is always better than the beginning. So I encourage you to step into everything that the Lord has for you. He does not want you to live in lack. He is here to give you an abundant life. Trust him and trust walking hand in hand. Turn your finances over to the Lord. Pray about them. That's one thing I do with my daughter every single night. One of the prayers I pray over her is, Lord, I pray a blessing over her finances, over her family's finances, and the people who will be in whatever businesses or whatever financial aspects of her life to come. I pray a blessing over, even over the future and over my finances, and she will rise. And so I encourage you to pray about where your money goes and to ask the Lord to show you what to illuminate and what to invest in, and start tithing if you're not tithing. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to sit with you. I'm not a financial advisor, but I can absolutely share what the Bible says about finances and what to do and how to steward your finances well. And so I just want to thank you all for this opportunity to share. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram. I am Lisa Phillips 82.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing us your life story at that. Sometimes we fail to also realize that it's not exactly in terms of like expertise and textbook knowledge and all of these like factual stuff. Sometimes the best thing that we can offer is how we actually lived it, in our own lives and our own struggles and our own from ground up stories. So thank you so much for sharing with us not only some actionable items that you provided, which were like super helpful as well, but also your openness to share a personal journey of yours. So once again, Lisa, thank you so much for your time today. And that said, I would also like to call our speakers, the rest of our speakers from today's session, so that we can also interact with our audience who are currently watching us right now. If you guys have any questions or any messages for our speakers, please feel free to also share them in the chat. But while you are probably brewing up some insights, I know we've listened to a lot of great stories, great insights, great journeys, life lessons that we've learned. I can see the red thing here on the back end say that we've been live for just nearly 2 hours, but even so, there is like a wealth of new knowledge basically at this point in just less than 2 hours or so. So while you are all probably brewing up a few questions that you have in mind, I think I do have one that I would like to ask while our audience is probably thinking of their own. So one common thing that I've kind of I took with everyone's stories is like one common topic or key point that you guys mentioned is about mindset, right? Like limiting beliefs, fixing your mindset about it. So as you mentioned, and as a common, not only in this talk actually, and even the previous talks of this annual live conference, that is such a common thing to, lack of a better term, fix or address so that we can proceed forward. So as you said, mindset is everything, right? But at the same time, we can't just stop there. Like, I'm going to think this and that's it. I'm going to sleep tonight and just think it and that's about it. Because action is definitely required as well. So, in your experience, in your field, or in the people that you've worked with or spoken to over the duration of your careers, where do you see people getting stuck, like between belief and action? Where do they kind of like fall off and kind of like stop being like, okay, I will believe this and this is what I have to do. I'm going to do it for a bit. And then it's, human nature. We fall off. We start to doubt again. We start to think that, wait, I don't think this is working. Do I keep on going? So where do you see that point where people like usually fall off, or lack of a better term, stop believing? Akishiraz, I think, raised his hand.
So I talk about reality addiction, and this is what happens: is you set the path, and your whole body feels weird now because you're taking different actions, you're making different decisions,
Fair.
and your body tries to create homeostasis, like common patterns, common feelings, and suddenly you've taken everything, and your body's like, I don't want to feel this way. So it actually sends these signals up to your mind to say, go back to doing what you used to do, because it wants to feel how it's always felt. The thing is, when you start doing those things on a regular basis, now your body starts to get used to it. And it's like, oh, this is who I am now. And it'll work just as hard to maintain the new state as it did to do the old state. And so it is just a matter of getting out there and having people around you to keep you going, success partners, accountability buddies. That'll help put the new patterns in place until they just become normal to you.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Shiraz. I think Lisa also raised
Yes,
her
I
hand
would like to add to that. So one of my pastors shared it so beautifully, was when you're trying to rebuild your mindset and your thought process, your neural pathways, like you need to create new neural pathways. And how she explained it was like, you say you're out in a blizzard and you have to get from point A to point B. Well, you walk that way once and your footsteps disappear within a matter of moments, right? If you're in a blizzard. And so you have to keep walking that pathway, and then almost eventually you get a shovel, and eventually that pathway becomes your new norm and your new routine and your new you're just the new path, the new way that you're going, and your new mindset. And so, and someone who has struggled with that, myself, is falling back into old patterns through the years. I'm able to catch that sooner, and the more you practice that, the easier it does become to develop those new patterns and those new thought processes and the new way of thinking and being. And so I think that was a beautiful vision that my pastor shared with me,
Absolutely.
of just that, it's hard to walk through 2 feet of snow the first time, but then as you keep walking that way and walking that way, it gets easier and easier, and then eventually your neural pathways are just, that's the way we're doing it now.
Interesting. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to add further, just a little bit further, is that I think that the new patterns, it does take a lot of repetitions. So yeah,
Fair.
that's another key point that you have to keep in mind. So don't worry that you fall back into your old habits in your comfort zone. It's like a friend of mine used a really nice example. The Alcoholic Anonymous group, the club that they're in, the AA, is that the thing is, you always want to reach for the bottle, but because it's comfort, it's your comfort zone, but what you need to do is go to the meeting. It's very compassionate things to yourself. I know what I need to do this. I know what I need to keep going, keep repeating the new patterns, because it does take a lot of repetition. Just imagine that when you were a child, how many repetition needed to you,
That's
yeah,
fair.
exactly, start walking just like an
Or like when
adult,
we were
instead of
writing.
crawling on the floor, right? It takes a lot of repetitions. And the other thing is that old habits die hard. Yes, old habit dies hard, meaning that there is always that inclination to crawl back into your comfort zone as well. So I think forming new habits, forming new neural pathways, which we can all do. Why do people don't do it straight away? And I just like that, because we all know it, but it's actually not that easy. And I love the comment that both Lisa and Shara said that have people around you who are really kind of encouraging you to do the right thing, to follow this new pathway, for the new habits, because you really need around you people to help you to keep going in this new direction. And then I often say to myself, okay, so you're feeling this way, Yuan, not so good, whatever, you sort of like boss up in this way, whatever. But what would she do? She is my outer ego, my higher self, basically. What would she do?
What would she do?
Yeah, what would she do? She'll think differently. She'll say, don't worry, you're not going to get it right every time, but just go for the next one, and so on and so forth. So when there's nobody around to encourage you, you encourage yourself. And you're like, what would she do? say to you,
fair.
what would she do? What would he do? He and she representing the best version of yourself, because that's what we are all striving for, a best version of ourselves. But we always want to reach for the bottle. It's like the AA. And the really good thing is to go to the meeting, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're human. Just when you fall off the chair, it's okay. How many times did you fall up today? 3 times, 4 times, whatever.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to jump in as well and say to everyone watching, please take every single word from every single person, because I just say echo, amen, and amen. One of the things I would like to, just highlight is I want to encourage everyone to lose the fear and the arrogance that causes a failure to seek advice, to seek counsel, and to be open to find out you got it wrong. You're missing something. And I recently said, I think when I was meeting with Shiraz, and I told him at one point, as he's given me incredible wisdom and transforming me, and I really encourage everyone talk to these experts. I said to him, I'm embarrassed talking to you because I know this stuff, but when you're in your own fog, it's foggy, and it doesn't matter who you are if you're not listening to people who have in the past or are currently achieving the results you desire, and you can have a respectful relationship. You've got to open yourself up and say, hey, dear friend, I've got my butt kicked again. I did it again. Because we're not alone, and everyone watching and everyone here has blown it in a million ways. And so it's not about they're the good ones, I'm a bad one, or drop all of that. We're all folks, we're all on a journey, and we can all help and encourage one another. And I would encourage you to not put up a fake face of everything's perfect and I know everything, but rather to say, I need to hang around people who are going to call me on my crap, who are going to call me higher, who are going to say, James, that's not the best version of you. This is, sometimes I think, oh, I'm all that in a bag of chips. And people are like, James, you haven't even begun what I see possible for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to learn more. And so I really encourage everyone watching and all of us here to say, lean on one another, be open to advice, surround yourself with people who will not allow you to suck at life. They believe in you, they love you, and you do the same for them. I really want to just highlight that.
Yes.
And that's also that is the key. I feel that my clients always feel that they want to change. And I said, change is hard work. Have you decided you really wanted to get rid of this X, Y, Z and start a new relationship with someone that's much better match to you, and so on and so forth? And having someone, a guide, to guide you along.
Yeah.
As I said, crossing that blazing fire. It's so much safer, easier, and faster.
Yeah.
Because do it by yourself, you can. It take longer. You might get hurt. You might fall off several times before you get to the other side. It's just so much more effective, impactful to have a guide. That's
Absolutely.
what I suggest to everybody. It cut the journey short by 1,000 years.
That's true. We need our support system. It's imperative. And as everybody said, and Shiraz, because we're so used to doing things in a certain way in the reticular activating system, it's about keeping us safe, and it's about sharing with the people around us. because then we think, what are they going to say or feel when I do this or when I change? And then that self-talk tends to keep us safe. So
Right.
it's about small increments, having people hold our hand. My father used to say, you lift a finger, I'll lift a hand. And it's true. It's like having the people around us, sharing with the people that this is what we want to do, and the ones that don't understand, they don't understand.
We didn't
But it's
understand.
about
Yeah.
also,
I always want to say that sometimes you don't want to tell everything to everybody. You want to choose the right people to tell it to,
right,
because there are
yes.
some people, they would not like you to change for the better.
No, that's right.
People would not like you to change for the better, and they don't want to change. And they actually want to discourage you doing what you want to do. So you tell them that your story, you tell them your new project, they say, oh, no, that's too risky. No, that's just way too risky. Really, it's their own fear of the insecurities creeping in. They don't want you to change. So you want to choose the right people to tell your new behavior, what you're planning to do, and have one or two, magic friends, as I said. Where do you find them? Somehow you find them somewhere, to always have your best interest in mind. That's it.
It's like this famous saying that goes, those who mind won't matter, and those who matter won't mind. Like that's as plain as that. If you attract the right people, you're with the right tribe, basically. Even your silliest and most outrageous projects or ideas, they'd be like, you know what, go for it. Like, go for it, reach for the stars. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
Support
you want
system.
to go for you want to find some early adapters. When
That's
everybody,
very-
every invention, Microsoft or Google, whatever, they have a group of early adapters
Yes,
to try out what
absolutely.
they have, cooking up in the kitchen, basically, before they push it out into the public. And the early adapters, you want to find some early adapters, because the early adapters are usually very adventurous. And they say, oh, yeah, we want to try the new dish. Why not? Yeah, give it here, And they tell you what's wrong with it. And this is what we need. Yeah, we want some early adapters, people that really support, because forming new habits is not so easy. It's actually hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it takes a lot of repetitions, takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of constancy, persistency, and faith. That's it, faith. Yes.
Would anyone else want to add anything more to that question?
Sort of building on the community, it's also have the right coaches.
Right.
Because the people that are so far ahead of you will accelerate your journey. They will help you get out of those old patterns. And I have several coaches now, and I'm not afraid to ask for help, right? So I remember just recently I went to a coach and I said, I've got these two things I can do. Which should I do? And she said, well, if you do this, you'll get these benefits. If you get this, you'll do these benefits. And I'm like, no, just tell me what to do. That's why I hired you. She's like, oh, this is the best option. Thank you. I will still take the learning from that, but I want to go fast. Let's just make the decision and go.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes choices actually slow us down, right? No choices is better. Just tell us what to do. Tell me what to do. I do it.
And we'll take it from there. We'll learn from there, right? If it works, it works. If not, well, we did still gain learnings from what we ended up choosing to do.
It's very true. It's like what Bob Proctor, used to say, is that just do as I told you. Don't ask the why. I know it works, And he said, okay, don't worry about it. You just do what as I'm told you, because it works. Yeah, he knows what works, basically.
Yeah. An amazing man.
Amazing man. Yeah. God bless him.
I wanted to expand on what Yuan said at the end. There was faith, really, and faith is so important in yourself. Like, it's great to have people to surround you, but how do you stand in the middle of it all and be confident in who you are and what you see to be your reality, And then how do you stand in the middle of it all? Because there'll be things that'll happen and come at you
Absolutely.
and will try and knock you
Absolutely.
down. I mean, that's been my last 6 months of everything's just coming at me. And I'm just like, no, I believe this to be true. And this is what I want. And it's happening. And regardless of the circumstances, I'm standing tall in the middle of it all, moving forward towards my purpose. And that's really kept me going for the last few years. And yes, Shiraz, having coaches surround you and support you on that is so important, because I wouldn't have been able to do this alone. You know, so I really firmly believe in faith in yourself is also truly important to have all the wealth that you desire in life.
Yeah, faith is like I read in a book, a Buddhist book, that faith is something that we cannot see. That's what faith is all about. It's unseen. It's not materialized yet, but it's emotion. It's vibration, emotions, and it's going round and round and round. And one day you'll see it. But it's like you're planting, you know, the seed in spring, basically, for flowers to come out in the summer. You have to have faith. I planted these seeds for cucumbers. I hope that cucumber comes up in the harvest time. But in the moment you plant it, you can't see anything. It's dark. It's like a new moon. The new moon, not the crescent moon, but the new moon really is dark. It's complete darkness. You're planting new seeds in complete darkness. You can't see what you're planting. You can't see the results. So in this moment in time, or in this period of time, all you have is faith to go on. We just hope that you plant cucumber seeds to go get cucumbers on the harvest. It's faith,
And I think that goes hand in hand, faith in others and faith in yourself. Because sometimes it's also how others see us that we nurture how we see ourselves. Like, I think I'm anchoring on the fact that at some point a few years ago, I told people I can never be a host. And now I'm like, I really said that? And I don't think I can imagine not doing this thing. And it's also because people told me, yeah, no, what do you mean? You're good at it, you can do it. And I wouldn't be able to kind of like shift that mindset if it wasn't also from people who are like also nurturing that faith in myself, but also at the same time, faith in yourself, being like, yeah, no, I will believe. I will believe in myself. We can do this. This is going to be a journey, but we will believe in that as well. So believe in yourself, believe in others. Yes, James?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, because many of us are faith-based people. So for me, it's essential that I just, add that to say, for me, when I'm inspired, it may have come from my own brain. It may have come from people I've listened to, but I always assume a portion of that came from divine. And if I'm going to trust anyone, it's divine, it's God, over myself, over you, my dear friends. I want to listen to you, and then I want to pray about it. I want to meditate on it, and I want to get that spiritual validation. And when I've got spiritual validation, you can drive a truck over me. I'm still going to go for it. If you don't finish me off, I am not stopping what I believe divine has inspired me to do, because facts are irrelevant. Facts, for all of the scientific revolution, they're always catching up to truth. Truth it's incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. And I want to go with truth above all else. And with that foundation, I feel unshakable. So I really want to have I really want to seek my peace with perceiving it's a divine inspiration, or at least it's an alignment with divine guidance, and then listen to everybody. But once my mind is made up, it's like, if you don't kill me, then if you don't kill me, and if the world doesn't end, just put money on me. It's going to happen. So that to me is part of the equation, not just faith in myself, not just my faith in others, but my faith for me in divine, in God, transcends and trumps it all. And when they align, well, then really watch out.
Yeah, exactly.
When they align, the magic happens. Synchronicity is the first sign of the magic. You sort of think, my God, things are happening all for me. It's going so well. That's synchronicity.
And I think Carmel is also going to be adding as well.
I was going to say, and when the head and the heart align, that's when the magic happens. I used to teach with the energy centers and the energy unseen attraction, but I could really relate to what James just said. We our previous home, it was so big, and we decided to close part of it off and turned it into a B&B. People were saying, who's going to come to Croydon North? I said, I don't know, but I prayed. I asked the house, and they said, go ahead. And we did. And from the very day we put the sign up, for 8 years, we had 75% occupancy rate. And it was like,
Amazing.
Yes.
you know,
You just have to actually trust yourself, believe in yourself, and try it. And then
over and
see the
above
results.
people's
Yeah,
questions.
over all the kind of doubts that you have in your head, which we
Mm.
all have a lot of doubts in our head. It's just we're human. But yeah, you
Yeah.
have to trust, it's trusting. But I also love what James and what Carmel was saying, that it's your heart. Connect with your heart. Whenever I have doubts, I connect with my heart. And the heart always guide me in the right direction. Thank
Absolutely.
goodness. But the
And
heart is the key for me. For me, connecting to my heart is the key. And having faith to, saying that, I always say that I'm protected by the universe and supported by ocean of love. Things are always working out for me. And it always does.
and
None of
Shiraz, I think, is
Right.
going to be adding something as well.
So, and it's actually funny because you said things are always working out for me. That's a phrase I use all the time.
Oh,
However, it's not a phrase I used to use because things were not working out for me. And then I realized, okay, I part of me was like, things don't work out, but things do work out. So I started
Things do
focusing
work
on,
out, yeah.
things do work out for me. And when I started
Absolutely.
shifting that focus to things work out for me, more things started to work out for me.
Starting to
So
work
then
out, yeah.
it changed to,
Absolutely.
more and more things are working out for me.
Mhm.
And as that was happening, more, it just kept elevating until I got to, everything works out for me. And it
Right.
was this slow buildup because I couldn't go from everything works out to me from where I was. My mind would not accept that. It would be like, that's a flat out lie. But that training of the changing the phrase and moving into it got me to a place where everything works out for me. And the crazy thing now is when something doesn't work out for me, my mind automatically goes, I wonder how that's going to fix itself because everything works out for me. It always does.
Love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's like that's
What
exactly
was it
like
gonna feel?
what Abraham Hicks always says. You can't go from here to there just in one shot. You got to go by step. So that's you have to
Absolutely.
tune your wording, your sentence. Like thing often work out for me. Thing
Yeah.
is more and more often working out for me. And thing is like now thing is like working out for me all the time. Kind of like step by step, because your subconscious or your body is very, very savvy. They won't let you say something that you don't actually feel. So when you say something that things are always working out for me, you don't feel it. It's like, got you there.
And
I
one,
love
one
it.
thing, one
I
thing
really
getting
love
back
it.
to what James was talking with God is I find what keeps a lot of people from creating success is thinking that what is all that's available. And so the way the money's going to come to me is through this and this, or I'll have to do this and this. And I'm like, well, what if you allow God to give you ideas? Do you actually think you're smarter than
That's
God and
nice,
God
yeah.
doesn't have more access to more things than you do? So,
No,
Absolutely.
I have this phrase. I always say that I welcome unexpected windfall, financial prosperity from unexpected sources with grace. So, I
Absolutely.
actually have the
Ease
door
and grace.
open completely for unexpected goodies to come into my life. Otherwise, because we don't know what we don't know, basically. We don't know what we don't know. So, that may be something cooking away and you don't realize it. So you don't want to shut that door. You want to keep that door open for the possibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lisa had something to say?
Oh, yes. So I wanted to touch back on faith because I don't know if y'all were here on and listening to my talk, but I love the Lord. He is my Lord and Savior, and He is the reason why I do everything. And when you were talking about faith, what came to mind was Hebrews 11:1, and it says, "The faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Faith isn't wishful thinking; it's having the knowing in our soul that the Lord, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, has the best things in store. For us. And one of the scriptures I shared was seek first the kingdom, and all else will be added to that. And that's really like my philosophy, and that's truly how I've been living my life, especially in this past in this current season, because I had a complete undoing, a break, and like not a breakdown, but like just an unbreaking of everything that I held onto, that everything that was earthly, the Lord just like stripped away. And we are now building, and He is my firm foundation. And I think it was Myron Golden, maybe, I could be quoting it wrong, or the person, but I was listening to someone and he said, on average, we have $2 to $4 million ideas a year. And we typically don't think that we're able to accomplish them, or, oh, I bet that's already been thought of. But in reality, that's the Lord downloading ideas to not only help you and your family financially and you personally, but to prosper the kingdom, to help others. Because my belief is that God gave me ideas not only to help me, but to help those around me and to further the kingdom and to bring Jesus to others. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, oh, thus says the Lord, like, I'm not necessarily preaching. It's being able to sow into others. If there's a family in need, I'm able to financially help them. Maybe I can get them groceries, or like right now, my church, we're trying to raise $8 million for 2 properties. Our church is just expanding so greatly here in San Antonio, Texas. And what is that doing? Like, we are putting our belief and our faith that the Lord's going to provide, because He gave us the idea, because He gave us that glimmer of like, hey, this is something that is good, and I believe that you can do it. And so He downloads ideas to us. And so I would encourage all of us here today, whether the speakers or whoever's listening, even on replay, like, think about those ideas that the Lord has downloaded. And that could be one of your $1 million ideas, but then you have to take it and go with it, right? Like, seek first the kingdom. God is going to give you all the wisdom to accomplish what you want, whether that's financial freedom or anything else that you may want. And so anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there because the Lord has saved me so many times and has shown His goodness so many times. I can't not help but talk about Him.
That's fair.
Can-
That's fair.
can I-
Absolutely.
And I understand we're probably going to be wrapping soon. I just wanted to encourage everyone out there. So you just heard Lisa say, we felt an inspiration. We thought about it, talked about it, researched it, prayed about it, whatever. And we landed on, we believe this is from God. We believe we're being guided. And so we're going to go for it. And for everyone watching, you may have had your own version of that, whether you formerly had a group, whether you felt divine, calling. And sometimes we go down those roads where we feel totally, yep, this is it. And we get our butts completely kicked. And it's like, and I want you to just think about it. I just turned 60, and I'm told when people, it's weird to be the same age as old people, because I feel like I'm very young. But I've heard people say, when you get older, it's fascinating when you walk from room to room and wonder why you went there. It's like, why am I in the kitchen? Right. So I just want everyone to think of that playfully, to say, anytime you go down a road and it doesn't appear to work out, you just ask divine again. You say, okay, why am I here? Why am I in this room? What is the outcome? So it's not a fail. It's an unanticipated outcome to divine inspiration. You say, okay, so why did I come here? Because you needed to learn that, because you needed to meet those people, because it's not a failure. You just may have misinterpreted what success would look like when you obeyed that inspiration. So if you can accept everything is perfect, everything's improving, and everything before this moment was necessary to make me, and that kind of thing is continuing, and I'm excited with faith for what's coming. So I just wanted to add that in case anyone feels like, oh, did I get it wrong? It's all right.
It's very true that because success is not linear, it's actually zigzag. Because that
yes, absolutely.
And I think to myself, well, I didn't mean this to happen, but it's happened. But is it so bad? No, it's just extra step, but it's okay. I mean, we just have to. Healing is not on timing. I learned that from the somatic breath work. Healing happens when it's supposed to happen, when it's the right time. You can't expect to happen in a certain date, certain hour. And success is not linear. It really isn't. There are lots of little steps that we have to do first.
Absolutely. For sure. And Carmel?
Can I just say, from an energetic point of view, we get an idea, God inspired, it comes in, and we start to visualize it from the third eye area. This is embodying ideas, and then we start to talk about it depending on who we talk to, and then it goes down to our heart. We fall in love with the idea. Once it reaches the solar plexus, that is when there's a lot of abortions, not only physical abortion, but creative abortions, because all of a sudden you have to put your time, your energy, your money, your beliefs into something, and it's hitting the solar plexus and the sacral and the base chakra. And that's when people tend to abort ideas. So it's important to have surround yourself with people who understand and can guide you through those areas to strengthen you.
Absolutely.
It's very
Yeah.
true.
And thank you so much. Those were all powerful talks, powerful chats. I don't think we received any more questions in the chat. I see that we are also chatting on the backstage, just finding inspiration to each and every one of us. And as we wrap up, let's all keep in mind that as our speakers also shared with us today, abundance grows when intention meets consistency, and every small decision you make after today matters. I think that was a very important question that we wrapped up, because some people really just fall off, right? We have these big goals, we have these big dreams, but once we're in it, a few steps later, we're like, why am I even doing this? And sometimes we kind of like forget how to ground ourselves back. So again, every small decision you make after today definitely matters. So take what resonated with you, everyone, and question what didn't. Maybe there's a learning there somewhere. Maybe there's more deep work that we have to do, more things that we might need to acknowledge that we kind of don't want to. So sometimes there's that, right? We sometimes have stuff about ourselves that we're trying, we know it's true, but we kind of don't want to acknowledge it. So maybe this is our sign to slowly really be open about how we see ourselves and how we see others. And most importantly, take action in a way that aligns with the life and abundance that you want to live. Once
Love it.
again, thank you for your time, your openness, and your
You.
presence. May today be
Happy
a
to
step
meet everyone.
closer to freedom and
Yeah.
abundance for all of us. And once again, this has
Thank
been
you.
your host, Pao, wishing you all a great day and great week ahead. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much to our speakers and to our audience.
Bye.
Together we are global speakers talk.